So hello everyone. So today I am going to discuss about the chemical properties of ozone. Clear? And in next class I am going to discuss about the allotropes of sulfur, which is a very important question. Clear? And the next we will see the contact process of sulfuric acid, and that the chapter gets over. Topic get over. Group number 16 gets over. So we are going to study today chemical properties of ozone. Clear? Before going to this first property, I would like to discuss one chemical property. Along with me, please you write down, okay? Because here I will discuss and I will write down here that pure ozone decompose on heating about 475 Kelvin to form O2 gas. This is the first property of ozone, that if you take a pure ozone, that is pure O3, when you take pure O3, what will happen? It will get decomposed. It will get decomposed to form what? O2. It will form O2 and forms what? At 475 Kelvin. Clear this part? Another reaction also can happen here itself, and that reaction is that this ozone can also decompose. This ozone can also decompose to form a nascent oxygen. Okay, either this reaction to remember or that reaction to remember, but this reaction is very important. Why? I will tell you. That ozone will get decomposed at nearly 475 Kelvin and forms one nascent oxygen. Now any element, if it is liberating the oxygen, so adding of oxygen we say as a oxidation and removal of oxygen we say as a reduction. So here what is happening? Here there is a removal of oxygen. So when there is a removal of oxygen, so this ozone is doing what? Reduction. This ozone is doing what? Reduction. And reduction means what? Oxidizing agent. So ozone is a very good oxidizing agent. So anyone can ask you in the exam, the question is why ozone is a good oxidizing agent, a powerful oxidizing agent. So the reason is ozone on decomposed produce a nascent oxygen, and there is a removal of an oxygen means ozone will do the reduction, hence ozone is a powerful oxidizing agent. Clear this part? Now second point says here delta H is minus 285.4 kilojoules per mole. Delta H is how much? Minus 85.4 kilojoule per moles. Clear? So this delta H negative indicates what? Heat is liberated. You remember this point. Why? I will tell in the further class, because this based on this point we have to discuss one more important chemical property. So first important chemical property is what? That ozone get decomposed at nearly 475 Kelvin to form O2 gas, and it also liberates this nascent oxygen. As this ozone is removing the oxygen, so removal of oxygen we say as a reduction, hence ozone is a powerful oxidizing agent. Clear? Next, it is most powerful oxidizing agent. Who? Ozone. In fact, it is more strong oxidizing agent than O2. Why? We will see the reason. When O2 will get decomposed, it will not form nascent oxygen. O2 cannot get decomposed. Okay, ozone will get decomposed to form O2 plus O, whereas O2 cannot get decomposed. Only ozone can get decomposed. So O2 will be added directly, whereas when ozone is added, it will come with two things. One is O2 and one is nascent oxygen. So ozone will come with two things, O2 plus nascent oxygen. But O2 will come with only with O2. So O2 only directly will react with compound and it will act as a oxidizing agent, whereas ozone will come with two compound. One is O2 plus nascent oxygen. That's why ozone is powerful oxidizing agent. So write down, it is most powerful oxidizing agent. In fact, it is more oxidizing agent than O2 because it gives atomic oxygen. Who gives atomic oxygen? Ozone gives the atomic oxygen, whereas O2 will not give the atomic oxygen. As ozone is giving O2 plus atomic oxygen, so ozone is most powerful reducing agent, whereas O2 will not give atomic oxygen. O2 will give only O2. That's why it is a less powerful oxidizing agent than O3. So this point is also very important. That who is more powerful oxidizing agent? Question comes in exam, MCQ can come in the exam, that ozone is the most powerful oxidizing agent then O2, because ozone will generate O2 and one atomic oxygen here, nascent oxygen. Clear this part? Whereas oxygen will only come with O2, it will not generate any nascent oxygen or atomic oxygen. So you write down here one point, write down along with me, please write down that ozone is the most powerful oxidizing agent with the liberation of dioxygen and atomic oxygen. Clear? It is more powerful reducing agent than O2. Clear? Due to the most powerful oxidizing agent, it oxidizes number of metals and non-metals, and here one very important point will come. So I will write down this once more on the top so that I can write down the reactions. So it oxidizes many metal and non-metals. Example, see, if I take Ag and if I react with O3, I will get AgO plus O2. Second example, if I take S plus ozone, I will get sulfur trioxide plus O2. You can balance the reaction at your home. Okay. Next, I will go with PbS plus O3. I will get the answer PbSO4 plus O2. Clear? So it is getting oxidized. Ozone is getting oxidized. Clear? But here I am going to give you a very important reaction. So first please you write down this, then we will give one important reaction, and here I will give you one key point, and that key point is very important. Please write down this. Written. So write down one reaction. It reacts with mercury and forms HgO plus O2. So it reacts with mercury and forms HgO, sorry, not HgO, Hg2O, Hg2O, mercurous oxide, Hg2O plus O2. Okay, write down, chalo. Here you write down, below this you write down, below this reaction you write down. During this reaction, please write down along with me, this is a very important key point. During this reaction, mercury loses its meniscus. Means, see, you know, if I am having a mercury, so mercury will have, see, mercury is filled in the glass tube, okay, and it will have some meniscus. This is known as a meniscus, okay. So when ozone is reacted here, so mercury will loses the meniscus and it will starts to stick on the wall. Mercury. So if you fill the mercury in the glass tube, so it will show some meniscus, means it will show the edge, okay, as you are filling the water in the tube. So whenever you fill the mercury in the glass tube, it will also show some edge. That edge we say as a meniscus. When you add the ozone to that mercury, so what will happen? No, this meniscus is lost, and the mercury will starts to run away and stick on the wall of the glass tube. This process is known as a tailing of mercury. T-A-I-L-I-N-G. You write down along with me. This is a very important key point. Write down. During the reaction, mercury loses its meniscus. During this reaction, mercury loses the meniscus, 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 and starts to stick to the sides of glasses. This is known as tailing of mercury. Mercurous oxide formed in this reaction dissolve in mercury and starts to stick the glass surface. Clear this part? Okay. So next property is, written know these reactions. Okay, next property is, due to oxidizing agent, it acts as a bleaching agent. Why? See, bleaching agent, you know, whenever you add any bleaching agent to color material, the color material will be converted into colorless. So why it happens? So see what happens, you know, this O3, you know, that get decomposed to form O2 plus nascent oxygen. Okay. So this nascent oxygen will react with this vegetable matter and generate what? The vegetable matter is color, but this nascent oxygen will react with this color and convert into what? Colorless. That's why ozone is acting as a bleaching agent. So one question can come here that why ozone will act as a bleaching agent. The answer for this is because ozone will generate nascent oxygen, and this nascent oxygen is responsible for the conversion of color into colorless material. So original reaction will be like this. See, first ozone when reacted with any color material, this ozone will get decomposed to form O2 plus nascent oxygen, and this nascent oxygen will react with color material and convert into colorless. So this is the exact correct reaction. Clear this part? And this color material means vegetable matter. Okay. So write down, due to its oxidizing agent, it acts as a bleaching agent. Write down, due to its oxidizing agent, it acts as a bleaching agent and sterilizing agent. As you know, this is used for the water sterilizer. Yes or no? So due to its, write down, due to its oxidizing action, it acts as a bleaching agent as well as sterilization agent. Therefore, it converts a color material to colorless material. Therefore, it converts the color material to colorless material. Hence, it is used to bleach. Hence, it is used in bleaching ivory. Hence, it is used in bleaching ivory, delicate fabrics, etc. Ivory, delicate fabrics, etc. Clear? Next property is, write down, it forms ozonides with alkenes in presence of CCl4. So see the ozonides. So see, alkenes means if I take ethene as an example, if I react with ozone in the presence of a carbon tetrachloride, so it will form an ozonide. See the structure of ozonide. CH2, CH2. This is known as an ozonide. Right down. This is known as an ozonide. Ethylene ozonide. Write down the name. Ethylene ozonide. Understanding the reaction or not? Simple. CH2 here 2 plus, this bond will be broken, and this bond will be broken, and each CH2 will be connected to what? Each oxygen of an ozone. So this is nothing but a what? Ozonide. This is a structure of an ozonide. So here there are 2 carbon, means ethylene ozonides. Write down. So ozone reacts with alkene in the presence of CCl4 and forms ozonide. So we will see the next property of ozone, that is which is based on the, I told you know, remember delta H is negative, that is heat is liberated. So based on this we will see one more property. So sixth property of ozone, it is very important property, you have to understand here. See, you have to remember for MCQ, and this property can be also asked in the competition exam. So this is very important property. See, ozone is thermodynamically unstable than oxygen, means ozone is reactive than oxygen, that is why it is unstable. So ozone is thermodynamically unstable than oxygen because, see, in the first property itself we have seen that ozone get decomposed to form O2 and nascent oxygen. During this reason, delta H was positive, sorry, delta H was negative, we have seen a certain value, minus 245 point something we have seen, yes or no? Minus delta H minus indicates what? Liberation of heat, means here heat is liberated, yes or no? So delta H negative means what? Heat is liberated, yes or no? So when ozone is converted into oxygen, during this process heat is liberated, that is why delta H is negative. Now ozone is converting into O2 and nascent oxygen, means one more extra product is also formed. So randomness will also increase, so delta S will be positive. So ozone is thermodynamically unstable with respect to oxygen, since it decomposes to give O2 and liberate large amount of heat, due to which delta H is negative. So why here delta H is negative? Due to the liberation of heat. Now ozone is converting into O2 plus O, so here one more extra product is formed. So here randomness also increases, so delta S is positive. Now, so as we know that delta G equal to delta H plus T delta S, this portion is positive and this portion is negative. Yes or no? According to the experiment, we have seen no that as the ozone is converting into what? O2 plus O, this reaction is exothermic reaction, means heat liberation reaction. So heat is liberated. So your delta H is negative. Ozone is converting into O2 and O, means here one more extra product is formed O. So here randomness also increases. Randomness increases means here delta S is positive. So if you see the Gibbs-Helmholtz equation, delta G equal to delta H plus T delta S, what you have seen here, delta S is positive, here delta G is negative. But experiment it is proved that delta H is more negative. Delta H is more negative. So when this delta H is more negative, so ultimate whose effect will be there? This delta H. So finally delta G will be more negative. So delta G is more negative. As you know, delta G is negative means reaction will be spontaneous. So reaction is spontaneous, it automatically does the reaction, does not require any kind of other heat or something, supplication is not required. So automatically does the reaction. That's why when I take a small amount of ozone, so it will automatically decompose to form what? O2 and O, and during that some heat is liberated. So if I take higher amount of ozone, if I take maximum amount of ozone, so you think about it, if I take maximum amount of ozone, so automatically if that ozone gets split into O2 and O, so how much amount of heat will be liberated? So that heat liberated can use as an explosive. Yes or no? See, when I take O3, it is as I got from the Helmholtz equation here, delta G was negative. Delta G was negative means what? The reaction is spontaneous. Means this reaction is spontaneous, means it is occurring of its own. When it is occurring of its own and it is an exothermic reaction, heat liberating reaction. So when I take less amount of ozone, suppose if I am taking less amount of ozone, and that ozone if it break automatically and during that heat is liberated. So heat liberation is there. Now if I take maximum amount of ozone, very high proportion of ozone, and if it get decomposed automatically, the large amount of heat will be liberated. So that amount of heat can be used as an explosive. So what it is written, therefore high concentration of ozone can be dangerously explosive. So this question can come, that why high amount of ozone can be dangerously explosive? Because high amount of ozone, what will happen? You take ozone, it is forming O2 and O. During this reaction delta H is negative, means this reaction is exothermic, so heat is liberated. When heat is liberated, so ozone is forming O2 and O, so it is forming one more product, means here entropy is increasing. But surprisingly, what we are seeing, that delta H is more negative than delta S. So when delta H is more negative than delta S, so final result of this will come negative. So delta G becomes negative. Now when delta G becomes negative, the reaction becomes spontaneous. So this reaction is spontaneous, means it will automatically break to form O2 plus O and plus heat. So if I take large proportion of ozone, so large amount of heat will be liberated, and that amount of heat can be used as an explosive. That's why large amount of ozone can be dangerously explosive. Clear this part? So once more I will read this, that ozone is thermodynamically unstable with respect to O2, since it decomposes to give what? O2 with the liberation of heat. During this delta H is negative because liberation of heat, and O3 is converting into O2 plus O. So one more product is coming, means randomness increases. So delta S positive, but experimentally it is proved that delta H is more negative than delta S. So final result here will be negative. So delta G becomes negative. When delta G becomes negative, means this reaction is spontaneous reaction, means it will automatically break and generate heat. When small proportion can generate less heat, maximum proportion will generate maximum heat. So that's why the high concentration of ozone can be dangerously explosive. Clear this part? Okay, next reaction is also very important, that nitric oxide coming out from the supersonic jet. You know supersonic jets, aeroplanes exhaust will liberate nitric oxide. So this nitric oxide, what they will do? They will react with ozone which is present in the atmosphere. So and they will generate NO2 plus O2. Okay, this nitrogen dioxide will remain in the atmosphere, and when the rain comes, it will fall as an acid rain HNO3. But you see one thing, this ozone is getting reacted. This ozone is getting reacted with whom? NO2, means ozone which is present as an ozone layer in the atmosphere, which is a protective layer for us, is slowly getting decomposed. by reacting with what? NO. So this is damaging our atmosphere. So what it is written? Nitric oxide coming out from the supersonic jet reacts with O3 and forms NO2. Due to this, it damage our O3 layer in the atmosphere. Damage in the, why it get damaged? Because ozone layer is very important us to remove away or to keep away from the UV radiations, as we know. Now suppose if ozone layer go on depleting by converting or by reacting with NO, so one day ozone layer will get deplete and number of diseases will come in the earth. So what happens during the supersonic jet? During the flying of the supersonic jet, the large amount of nitric oxide come into the atmosphere. This nitric oxide will react with the ozone which is present in the layer of the atmosphere and they convert into NO2. So NO is eating O3 and converting into NO2. Finally, who is getting exhaust? Finally, ozone is getting exhaust from our atmosphere, but ozone is very essential for us to protect again from the UV radiation. So due to this reason, we say as a nitric oxide is an harmful for what? Ozone. So the point is written is nitric oxide coming out from the supersonic jet reacts with ozone and forms NO2, which damages the O3 layer in the stratosphere. Clear this part? Next we are down. Ozone can also be depleted by using freons and CFC. This last class also, in the starting of ozone also I have explained you that ozone can be also depleted. Here meaning of depleted means getting over, exhausting. Okay. So ozone can also be depleted by using the freons and CFCs. Clear? So this point is very important. Once more I will repeat why ozone is unstable. Ozone is thermodynamically unstable than oxygen, because on ozone when get decomposed generate O2 and O. This reaction is highly exothermic reaction. During this reaction heat is liberated, delta H is negative, and due to formation of two product randomness increases. So delta S is positive, but experimentally delta H is more negative than delta S positive. Keeping in the Gibbs-Helmholtz equation, we get that delta G becomes negative. When delta G becomes negative, the reaction becomes spontaneous. So this reaction is spontaneous. Okay, so when small proportion of ozone can generate smaller proportion of heat, if large proportion of ozone, if get automatically decomposed, it will generate large amount of heat. Due to the large amount of heat, it can act as a explosive. That's why we say as a, therefore the high concentration of ozone can be dangerously explosive. Next point is nitric oxide, which is generated from the certain, here they have given the example of supersonic jet, but it can be also generated from certain chemical factories. So nitric oxide which is generated from the chemical factories or supersonic jet, they will start to react with the ozone from the atmosphere, slowly convert into NO2 and O2. Yes, they are giving O2 gas also, and they are giving NO2 also, but slowly ozone layer is getting depleted because it is getting reacted with NO. If once the ozone layer get depleted, it will come, number of diseases will come into the earth atmosphere, because ozone layer is acting as a protective layer to us. That's why it is highly dangerous for the atmosphere layer. Clear this part? So you can write down certain uses of ozone. I hope I have not given it, but 2-3 use you write down. So make a one new point or make a topic that uses of ozone. So write down uses of ozone. Write down first. Ozone is used for sterilizing of water. Ozone is used for sterilizing of water for drinking purpose. Ozone is used for sterilizing of water of drinking purpose. Next, write down, it is used for purifying air. It is used for purifying air. It is used for the purifying air of crowded places such as cinemas, underground railways. It is used for the purifying air of crowded places such as cinemas, underground railways, auditorium, etc. Next you write down, it is used in the industry of manufacturing of artificial silk. It is used in the industries of artificial silk, KMNO4, etc. Clear? So that's it. Here your ozone is completely over. Next class I will go with allotropes of sulfur.